begin kneeling, so you can just start anywhere on the mat, sitting on the heels. And if this is too much on your ankles, you could always place the block between your feet to raise the hips, or simply sit cross-legged. Okay. Hands could rest on your thighs, easy shoulders, eyes open or closed. Spend a few moments here, shifting your focus, bringing it to your mat, and perhaps more deeply inward. Can you sense your breath? And with the jaw relaxed and lips sealed, breathe more evenly through the nose. Establish an even cadence for yourself that doesn't feel too rushed or forced. Create a three-dimensional breath that moves not only in the upper chest, but down into the abdomen as well. A few more cycles. If your eyes are closed, blink them open. Now move forward into a tabletop position, aligning shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Spread the fingers apart, your hands cover space, and really apply pressure into your base knuckles to lessen load on the wrist. To prepare the wrist for this weight bearing, just start to rock a little forward and back. Really easy, let your shoulders go forward past your wrists and hips back behind knees. If you want to add on, you could stir the torso around, making circles. Begin with small circles, then maybe they get bigger. Okay, switch directions if you haven't already. If you're stirring the torso around, keep the low belly tone, support low back, then come to center. Moving into cow, lift your tailbone, lower the belly. Cat, just do the opposite, rounding your spine. You could look at the belly button. Again, cow, use the breath if you need to. Cat, just continue to breathe through the nose. Okay, another cycle, cow and cat. Alternating between extending and flexing the spine, articulating through the spine. Okay, finish your next round and come to a neutral back. Okay, so continue to press through your hands. Okay, shoulder blades can move apart gently. Okay, maintain stability through your upper body and extend right leg behind you, okay, keeping your toes on the ground. Start to roll your right ankle around, so you're rolling it on purpose. Okay, upper body strong. Okay, just swirl around your toes. Okay, feel all these different angles at which your ankle can move through. Go both directions. Pushing into the mat. And then return to tabletop. Okay, no rush. Extend left leg back. Toes could stay on the ground. And start to roll your left ankle now, rolling it deliberately. And typically we don't want to roll our ankles, but if you're doing it in a mindful, intentional way, you'll build strength through it. And just be smarter about how you move it. Okay, return to tabletop. Okay, if you do give hands a little shake, go ahead and do that. Okay, now we're just going to bring the legs together. Tuck your toes under. So toes are in extension. Can you sit on your heels here? So hands could just be by the knees. If you need to keep your hips higher, that's fine. Okay, but if possible, sit hips to heels. Okay, then begin to lift your knees off the ground. Hands are down for support. Okay, rock your heels and weight back. So heels back and down towards the ground. Maybe it touches the mat, they don't need to. Then rock forward, knees might touch the mat. Okay, rock back again and forward. Okay, and just rock and alternate between forward and back. Hands could stay down, but if you need more challenge, try to take hands off the mat. Maybe hands at heart, or just moving them wherever it helps you balance. Okay, just know that knees do not need to touch the floor. Heels don't have to either. Okay, a few more rocks. Okay, create just enough challenge and practice control, going slow. You feel all the little muscles in your feet waking up. Okay, next time you bring your heels back, start to raise your hips, hands on the ground, essentially coming into a forward fold. Your knees could bend. Rest your head, and keeping the knees soft, take a halfway lift. Reach the heart forward, palms could push against shins. Fold, hands and head down. Again, half lift, long back. Folds. Then rise up to standing, pressing down the feet, arms circle above you, hands to heart. Okay, resting arms at your sides. Take your feet about hip width apart. We'll do some more stuff for the toes. Okay, so let's lift all the toes up, okay, bringing them into extension. Okay, then push your toes down. Okay, like you're gripping your mat, actively push. Okay, again, all toes up, and now can you lower just the big toes? Okay, so all the other toes are still raised. Just do your best. Okay, try to keep ankles centered. Okay, all toes up, lower the 4 smaller toes down, keeping big toes raised. Think of thumbs up and with your feet, ankles centered. Do your best. All toes up. Now spread them wider apart. Can you bring just the pinky toes down? Then ring toes, middle, index, and thumb. One more time, all toes up, spread them wider. Pinky toes down, ring toes, middle, index, and thumb. Relax your toes. And take a pause. And we're gonna do a little march to the front of the mat and work on our ankle dorsiflexion, which is when you're moving your foot towards your shin. We need this for walking, we need it for many poses, yoga poses. So just step your right foot forward. And just ahead of the left foot, you can still have hip width side to side. Start to pull your right toes up towards your shin, toe extension. Then try to pull the top of your right foot towards the shin, keeping your heel on the ground. So just trying to dorsiflex your right ankle as much as you can, pulling the foot up. Then lower the foot slowly and the toes. Left foot steps forward. And keeping your left heel glued to the mat, pull your toes up. Then the top of your foot towards your shin, actively flexing. Okay, lower the foot slowly and the toes. Okay, again, right foot steps forward. Heel on the mat, pull your toes up. Then the top of the foot. Maybe you can pull the top of the foot a little closer to your shin, engaging all this muscle in the front of the leg. Okay, lower the foot and the toes. Last time, left foot steps forward. Pull the toes up. Then the top of the foot. Heel is on the mat. Keep pulling. In slow motion, lower your left foot and toes. Right foot next to left. You should be near the top of the mat, standing tall. Okay, let's just do a few heel raises now. So keeping toes on the ground. At your pace, lift the heels. Engaging through the calves. Under the foot, the arch. Okay, now in slow motion, lower your heels down. Arms could stay by your sides, maybe hands on hips if that helps you balance. Again, raise your heels. In slow motion, lower the heels. One more time, heels up as high as you can get them. Try to root the base of your big toes to stabilize ankles more. In slow motion, lower the heels down. If feet are hip width, still bring them together. Okay, ground the corners of your feet. Simple standing posture here. Keep the curves of your spine. And circle the arms up. And fold forward. Okay, come into a ball squat. You can bend your knees a lot, hips towards heels. Heels can go off the mat. You can round your spine like a cat back. Maybe forehead touches knees. For one more balance, we'll try a toe stand. Looking forward, you can start to lift the chest. The thighs about parallel to the mat. One, maybe both hands to heart. Okay, lifting through the chest here, pushing through the toes and the balls of the feet. For added challenge, you could float your hips off the heels. Another moment. Breathing. If you're hovering the hips, bring them to your heels. With or without hands on the ground, sit on your mat. And feel free to give legs a little shake, bounce the knees, roll your ankles, wiggle your toes. Okay. So that's that for our foot mobility sequence. I hope that you can move with more awareness and more gracefully through your day. Thank you.